Welcome back, viewers. Today we will be testing the Waddah Attar explosion part 2.
But before we do, if you have not watched my first video and the videos after that, you need to go do that right now. Here at the Academy of Forex, we are building the best trading system possible as a team, and as a team, we will all profit from it when we are done. You can find a link to the first video down in the description below. You can also find a link to our Discord server, so that way we can all discuss testing indicators and building our trading system. And lastly, you can find a link below to TradingView. If you sign up for a paid account, you will save a little bit of money using the link below.
Alright, as I said, today we will be testing the Waddah Attar explosion part 2. But before we do, I wanted to put the indicator scoreboard up for everyone to see. So to date, we have tested 123 indicators, and out of those 123 indicators, 49 of them have been winners, which means that they have met or exceeded the 60% win-loss ratio threshold that we have set for them. The best ones so far were able to achieve a 100% win rate. Now you need to go back and watch those videos to understand the context of how they were able to achieve that. But as we are working on building the best trading system possible, you could take any one of those 49 indicators and get out there and start potentially profitably trading the markets with them now. So go back and watch those videos, make a list of those indicators, and get out there and see what you can do with them. But stick with us here as we work on maximizing your trading profits. All right, so today's indicator. Yesterday we tested the same indicator. I explained in that video that there seems to be two schools of thought when it comes to trading this particular indicator. All the research that I have done has been very clear as to how the indicator should be tested, and that's how I tested it in yesterday's video. But every time I see someone explaining where signals are taking place, they are trading it in a different way. Now, before we get into this, I've explained in my last couple of videos as well that in our Discord server, so Discord is a free website that allows us to chat in real time. There is a lot of good conversations taking place in that real-time chat site. Now, in that Discord server, we have some of the members who have been playing around with coding indicators lately, and so I created a channel specifically for them for indicator creation. And so I realize that they may not want to or be able to code indicators for every single person and every single indicator that needs to be coded. And I, again, don't expect them to do that. If they want to try and code an indicator for someone, that is 100% up to them, but I am in no way making them obligated to code indicators for people. One of the biggest problems that we have is people being able to follow along who can't use TradingView or use the MT platforms more exclusively than they do TradingView. In the Discord server on the Creation Indicator channel, I created or I pinned a couple of links that are to freelancers who do indicator coding. So if you have an indicator that you want created, whether it is one for TradingView, there is a link for PineScript creators, and then there is a link to freelancers who will code indicators for the MT platforms. And so if you find an indicator here on TradingView that you can't find for the MT platform, then you can hire one of those freelancers to recreate the indicator for you. There are a lot of freelancers on there who do really good work and will do it for really super cheap. And so there should be no reason why everybody can't follow along with us or test the same indicators that we are using. There is plenty of access out there to people who either do the coding for free or do it for a very minimal price. And so I urge you, at the very least, at least join our Discord server. And so that way you can be a part of the real-time conversations that are happening around trading and around indicator testing and just all things trading in general. So, all right, back to today's indicator. As I said yesterday, I explained that there are two ways to trade this indicator. There are a few different parts to the indicator. One is the blue dotted line, which is called the dead zone line. And so anything that is below the blue dotted line is considered a dead zone. And so you have the histogram bars here, and you also have the explosion line. If either the explosion line or the histogram bars are below the dead zone, then that is technically a indicator of a ranging market. Now, the way I tested the indicator yesterday was, and again, this is how it's been explained time and time again as I researched the indicator, and anytime I've ever heard about the indicator and the way it should be traded, is that you should primarily watch the explosion line as it comes out of the dead zone. And once it does that, it should be pointing in an upward trajectory, and the histogram bars should be above the explosion line, either in green or red, and that tells you whether you should be going short or long. Again, this is how I tested it yesterday. Now, anytime I've seen anybody trade it, or anytime I've seen the indicator where it's like in a strategy form, the way it is giving entries is that the explosion line again has to be above the dead zone line, but anytime a histogram bar crosses up above the explosion line, that is a signal to go either short or long depending on what color the histogram bar is. So for example, if we were to look right here on the indicator, you can see that the explosion line crosses up above the dead zone, and when it does that, the histogram bar is above the explosion line and it is red, and so that is a signal to go short. Now if we follow it along, you see that the explosion line does not go back into the dead zone, but we see the histogram bars drop below the explosion line, and then you see over here that the green histogram bars spike up above the explosion line. And that is how a lot of people say that would be a long signal, and that's how it should be traded. And so now I run into a little bit of confliction here, because again, I've heard time and time again that the explosion line should be pointing in an upward trajectory when you take a trade. And so it seems to kind of contradict itself as to how a lot of people are trading it. But I understand that there are a lot of people who are interested in this indicator, and I've heard a lot of good things about it. And so it stands to reason that if the majority of people are testing it or using it in one way, then we should probably at least try to give it the benefit of the doubt and test it using that method, rather than just the explosion line coming out of the dead zone type strategy that I tested yesterday. Now we got about, I think it was around 58% win rate on it yesterday's video that we tested. And so it was pretty close to the 60%, but didn't quite make it. Now, I'm interested in seeing what it is able to do today with this minor tweak to it and putting it to the test that way. So, all right, with all that being said, let's get on with it here and see what we can get. All right, so let's see. We're going to ignore this one because we technically are not into the year yet. And we are going to call this one right here the first signal to go long. And it would have gotten us to take profit. So far, so good. Let's continue to play it out here and see what we get. All right, this is similar to where we were yesterday. Right there. We entered that trade, and that was the one that unfortunately stopped us out. Ooh, don't know what happened there. Let's try that again. Interesting. All right, moving on here. Let's see. So it drops down below there. We're picking up some red momentum. Doesn't quite make it up and out of the dead zone there. You know, one thing I am going to do, I'm going to change the dead zone to a black line. I'm going to bump up. I'm going to change the explosion line, I think, to orange. I think is what we'll do. Let's do that. That should make things a little bit more easier to see. All right, there we go. It breaks out right there to the upside. Right on this one. And we would have been in the take profit zone. And then you see over here, we get what we were referring to. So the histogram bars drop out. It then spikes up with red volume here, giving us a short signal. Let's play it out a little bit and see what it does. So it looks like it got us to take profit. Let's double check it here. Yep, it did. So there we go on that one. So far so good on the new adapted style. Actually, what I'm gonna do is let me make a small change on this. Let me turn this to blue. There we go. So that way it's not as faded out behind. So I think on this one yesterday, I think I may have made a mistake. I don't think I took this one because I thought that the signal took place on this dead candle right here, on this dead histogram right here. And so it looks like it actually took place, the cross took place right here for a short. And so let's see what it does. It would have been this one right here. It didn't stop us out, but it then turned on us. So that would have eventually stopped us out there. So that wouldn't have helped us out much yesterday. And we see that we get a spike on volume right here. And wow, look at that jump that took place there. So that definitely would have gotten us to take profit on that one. Then we get cross here. Let's play it out a little bit and see what it does. It does appear as though it got us to take profit. Let's double check. Here to there, it did. There we go. Let's see, playing it forward. There we go. We get another cross right here. That one also got us to take profit. It's plugging along here. Oh, we picked up a spike to the short side right there on that one. The question is, did that really long wick take us out? It did not. And it got us to take profit. So we seem to be on to something here a little bit. From what I can tell, this is doing decent deal better than it did yesterday. Let's see, this one unfortunately would have stopped us out. I remember that one from yesterday. Neither of these two spiked up quite high enough to get over the explosion, but that one did there. And let's see, got us to take profit. All right. Moving on here, we're about midway through the year. Let's see what it's doing here. So we got spike here. So that one would have been closed out on this candle right there. Then we got another spike here that would have been closed out on that candle right there. And would have stayed in. And it would have, so right on that one, would have given us another signal at the close here. Did not quite get to take profits. And did eventually come down and stop us out. So that would have been a losing trade there. All right, there. We picked up a short signal on that one. So that would have gotten us to take profit as well. The explosion line is now down into the ranging zone. Looks like it may have pulled itself out. Nope, it wasn't until... I don't think it was that one. It was this one right here. That big bar right there. I remember that one from yesterday. Let's see, let's measure this out one more time here. There to there, yep. Got us to take profit again. Then we get a spike above here for a short. Let's play it out a little bit, see what it does. It does eventually fall, but yeah, stopped us out before it did. Picked up a short signal there. Right here. Didn't get us to take profit, so that one would have stopped us out as well. We're down back into the dead zone. We did pull out of the dead zone very slightly right here on that one. And I don't know about that one. That is super close. I'll go ahead and call that one. Yes. I mean, it is very close to a half of the histogram bar is above the explosion, half of it is still below, and so it's definitely iffy on that one. Now we got this big candle right here, just shot up and out, which definitely gave us a signal. Didn't get us quite to take profit. Let's see if it stopped us out. Nope, didn't stop us out yet. And it eventually got us there. Alright, let's see what it's doing now. So it would have been, yeah, we wouldn't have got another signal until right here. Let's play it forward some. That one would have stopped us out, and we would have been back down below the dead zone by the time those other ones spiked themselves up. There we go. So we picked up a signal right there. Let's see if we got to take profit. It'll be darn close, but yep, we did. Just ever so barely. Oh, are we at the end of the year? Yeah, we were actually. That one right there was actually January 1st. Man, time flies. Sometimes you just get engrossed into what you're doing. And Yeah, you just get lost for a moment there. Time jumps super fast right there. All right, so here we are. We have the new test of the Waddah Attar explosion. Let's see what we get out of it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, and 21. So 21 signals all together. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. 14 winning trades. So that is rather decent difference in trades and wins. That one definitely meets the 60% criteria. That seems to be a little bit more on the better side than the last one. And so we will go ahead and throw this one onto the yes list. Right now it's on the no list, so I will switch it over. Yeah, I've always heard decent things from this, and so I was a little surprised when it couldn't make even a 60% win rate. But again, I was testing it by the way that it had been explained many times before, but not quite the way that I had seen people trading it. And so, yeah, it was worth a shot giving it another chance this way, and it turns out that that was a pretty decent thing to do. So, what a Atari Explosion is now on the yes list. Did really decent, not too bad at all. Decent number of trades and a really reasonable number of wins. So, there you have it. Good. We will move on to the next indicator from here.
If you have not already, like this video, comment below, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the bell notification so that way you are notified anytime I post a new video. As part of the team, it's important that you are seeing the new videos as they come out so you know what it is that we are discussing and what indicators we are testing, have tested, and have not tested. Also, like usual, there is a link below in the description to the Discord server. You can join us on Discord so that way we can further discuss the indicators and have discussions as we move forward building our trading system. And lastly, like usual, there is a link below to TradingView. If you like what you see whenever I use TradingView, and you are interested in signing up for TradingView, if you use the link below and sign up for a paid account, you will save a little bit of money. So, all right, everybody, I will see you